Yeah. So this is the this protocol is actually this is where we are going to use the Eladr token. Based on this protocol, we are going to build some applications. So what is that decided to like? So basically in internet we all know there is internet has a predatory behavior, like they can actually people will actually flood you with adverts, malwares and stuffs like that. If you right click on your network tab and see what and all happening in a browser, you could see that there are many adverts, malwares and stuffs like that is actually dropping in your browser. If you inspect that, there are a lot of cookies are actually taking data from you, like whatever you are browsing is actually it's actually sent to another server which been from some other website which you been browsed some time ago, and all the data in the internet will be actually whatever the browser stuff you are doing will be recorded over there. So this is basically like a predatory behavior, and some algorithms will actually pop up what based on whatever you have done already in the internet. Some algorithms will pop up and tell you what is actually you are doing, and what you have to do, and you may like this, you may not like this, stuffs like that. And this is basically a predatory behavior which is happening in the internet. So the basically the Eladr protocol, so which we are actually building is actually to to remove this predatory behavior, and this is how we are actually intended to work this actually the Eladr protocol, how we are going to build it actually. So now, as I have already said, there are many algorithms. If you see in your browser, there are many algorithms which is already running in your browser and taking data from you and sending to the server, and trying to sell you a lot of malwares and stuffs like that, and many other things as well. Um, so this is how the algorithms are actually running on the top of the internet. So the social media, how the social media is working. Basically it's a ego booster, right? Like you post something from the social media that I am there, I am here, I am it's basically boosting our ego. So basically human beings has a tendency to boost their own ego, and this ego is being utilized by some predators, like they sell the arts on the top of that, and they manipulate people mind using some algorithms and things like that. So this is how the most of the social medias are working. So at a point, like the social collapse is actually inevitable, like in the case, like if somebody is continuously boosting their own ego, and stuffs like that is going on, at a certain point we actually collapse as a social being. The human beings will actually collapse on the top of that, like so this thing is actually inevitable, like the more egoistic the human beings are, the more problem it will bring to the as a social structure. Like I'm not a sociologist, or I'm not trying to articulate or trying to theorize that the social media is how it's, but the ego boosting of the human beings is actually comes to an end, and that will actually collapse the social system. So what is a pro-social behavior? There is something called a pro-social behavior. You can be a pro-social person, like whatever the activity you are doing in the social media can uplift the other people's also. So this is called a pro-social behavior, like as a social being, whether it can be in social media, or whether it can be in the internet or whatever, like whatever you do can uplift the fellow beings which is actually connected to you. This is how the pro-social behavior is actually working. So this is why we are building the Eladr protocol. So here the everybody whoever getting the access to the so basically using this protocol we are building some systems like micro blogging, like something like Twitter, and video players something like YouTube, and social media something like the Reddit and stuffs like that. But here the that is why we are designing the Eladr protocol, and everybody in this particular system will be get incentivized with the token which we are actually using. So whoever holding that token, they can actually access the internet which we are building, the protocol which we are building. So all the platforms which comes into this particular protocol will be like it's a layer 2 solution that is actually can be only accessible via the people who are actually incentivized on the token. So the data layers in the particular system will be in IPFS. Like this is IPFS, we know that it is an interplanetary file system. Like the data which is been actually is a distributed hash table, which is something similar to a blockchain, but it is not exactly a blockchain. Blockchain is a distributed ledger, but whereas the IPFS is a distributed hash table, which all the things has the IPNs also. So it's like a distributed network of the hashes, and whoever has the hash, they can access the particular data, and that hash can be pinned by the whoever running the cluster of the IPFS. So anybody can pin, whoever is on the particular node, they can pin that particular file into their node, and they can serve, and the file is actually not pinned to anywhere. So what happens is that the if the file is not pinned anywhere, the file will not be accessible. So rather than that of the, like for example, this is an HTTPS protocol which we are actually browsing the internet now. So we are actually asking a file via a URL. The URL will refer to that file location, and the file location will be changeable. But in the case of the IPFS, we are, rather than that of the a URL, a unified resource locator, instead of that we are actually asking the file itself. So there will be not a location per se for any files. It's we are actually exactly asking the data. So if you have a node and you are asking the data via that particular node, the data will be pinned to that particular node, and it will be delivered from there. So this is the IPFS, and the data in the IPFS is actually permanently pinned. It will not be pinned for a seconds of time, or no, it's like immutable. Like the most of the crypto tokens logos and stuffs, like the cryptocurrencies logo and the NFTs and things like that, is actually pinned, has to be pinned in IPFS. Otherwise at some certain point of the time, the data will be lost. So this is why the IPFS is very important. So we are all the data in this particular protocol is actually pinned into the IPFS node, and the Cardano blockchain is the solution which we are actually having the access control. So the Cardano blockchain, why we are using the Cardano blockchain, the because of the transaction cost in the Cardano blockchain is came down. Like after the Vasil hard fork, the especially the particularly the the token price is very much came down, and the AWS is also we are using, because the Amazon AWS and Azure, like they have given some $5,000 of credit, like for as a startup funding, and Azure from the Microsoft, they have also given a $5,000 of the credit to for us to build the particular tech stack, and some shell scripts. So the shell script, if you run the shell script in so this is going to be the data data will be a cluster of the nodes, like it will be, the node will be in different parts, and the once you run the shell script, you can actually you can actually host the entire node in your own machine. So what happens, you will also get benefited in the Eduladder token, the way which the file coins are working. The file coins are actually incentivizing the users who are hosting the IPFS node in their own system. So that is how the Filecoin is been designed. The Filecoin protocol is been designed, and it is been sending the data in that way. So we will use some little bit of MySQL here and there, and that data is going to be open source, and we will decide whether it is MySQL or not, like to because in the case of the IPFS, the data is actually non-searchable. Nobody can search the data which is in the IPFS. So that the MySQL has a full text search feature that will actually enable us to search the database very easily, and all the data will be like a NoSQL DB, like which is like a MongoDB, like everything will be in a JSON structure, and that will be hosted in nodes. So once it is been, the data is been put it in the internet, the data cannot be deletable, and nobody can track it actually where it is been actually hosted, and nobody can censor it, like the many people's Twitter handlers has been blocked by many governments across the world, because they are not governing the whatever it is they are saying. So this thing won't be happening, and it will be in a Docker engine, so that the anybody who has a very minimal tech knowledge, they can easily host the stuff in their own machine very easily. So the APIs will be in Node.js and the React. So the advantage is that there is no trackers. Nobody, I mean, if you look into the website, any website, they are actually spying on you. They are actually doing a lot of predatory stuffs to you. They are actually sending a lot of adverts, malwares and stuffs like that. So there will be no trackers and no manipulatory behavior, no predatory behavior, like we don't want to predate on anybody, those who are browsing the internet. And there is no data mining. We are not going to do any kind of data mining, and no bullshitting also. So this is how the things are going to be designed in the internet, and it is completely cooperation structure, like you hold a little bit of Eladr token, and whatever the activities which is happening in this particular protocol, everybody in that particular protocol will get a benefit of that. For example, if somebody put something in the protocol and it went viral, and what happened, everybody who is holding this particular token will get benefited. So this is the way how the Eladr protocol, this is the the brief view of the Eladr protocol, how it's going to work. And yeah, any questions over here?